Splat Sports Podcast, episode 38. 38. The boys are all here. It was an exciting weekend. Let's just say that. We're just going to be talking about one topic today because it would have taken up our entire time anyway. We're going to talk about the NBA trade deadline, or the trades, not trade deadline. Sorry about that. But we had some big ones. We're going to talk about the newest one first, just because it's not as big. I mean, it's still big, but it's
Very big.
not as blockbuster. But let me see. Shams just tweeted it. I just had it pulled up, and my phone is now gone. Hold on. But we're going to talk about De'Aaron Fox heading to the San Antonio Spurs. Here's the full trade. The Spurs get De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings get Zach LaVine. City, how do you say his last name? Sissoko. 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and the Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick. This is a big deal. It's kind of been overshadowed, but it's still a very big deal. Spurs get a really good player in De'Aaron Fox. He's, 28, I think? Is that
Still pretty young.
He's still pretty young. He's still valuable. He still has output. Zach LaVine going to the Kings, so he's going to pair up with DeMar DeRozan.
Reunite with DeMar DeRozan.
That is true. And Domantas Sabonis. So it's not like the Kings have a bad roster either. They still got some guys, some playmakers there. But G-Russ, your kind of thoughts on De'Aaron Fox pairing up with Wemby and Chris Paul?
Yeah, when you look at the past few years, the NBA has shifted from trios to more dynamic duos. You saw Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum last year, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And I think that's what the Spurs are trying to do here. I think De'Aaron Fox is a great second option. You know, he was solid in being the first scorer in Sacramento, but I think he'll be better for him in this role. I think this kind of completes their team. You know, you still have some young talent in Stephon Castle. You have Chris Paul, who is going to just get it to everybody who can score on the floor. So I don't see this. Maybe they're not. I think they're going to sneak in maybe into the plan, but I think that over the next 5 years they can continue to add pieces and develop to be a very good contender in the West.
I feel like De'Aaron Fox kind of fills the hole that DeJounte Murray kind of had there in San Antonio with this team. Maybe not in the same way, but it fills the need of a versatile guard that Wemby really needed to pair with. I mean, Chris Paul, a good facilitator, but he's not going to, go off for 60. It's just not going to happen at his age. Barrett, your kind of thoughts on what the Kings and Spurs and Bulls have done?
I love this trade for the Spurs. Grant's already kind of touched on it, but they're lacking a second option behind Wemby. I know, they've got some younger guys who they like. Obviously, Stephon Castle is having a great rookie year. Excited to build off him. But I think this team, might have a shot to make the playoffs this year, maybe upset a team. I mean, anything's possible. They've got probably, the most exciting young player in the NBA right now. Really like what they did. Interesting move for the Kings. They were obviously when reports came out about De'Aaron Fox potentially being moved, kind of thought maybe they were going to kind of sell at the deadline and go back, but no, they kind of reloaded, so to say. So it'll be interesting to see how this trade plays out for them as they're sitting 10th in the Western Conference right now at 500. So easily can make the playoffs, easily can miss out. So we'll see how this plans out.
There you go. Now, there were some other trades over the weekend, but this is probably the biggest one. It's up there of all time. Here's what Shams has said. It's a 3-team trade: Lakers, Mavericks, Jazz. The Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber. I forget the L in there. And Markieff Morris. The Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Lakers first. And the Jazz get Jalen Hood, Schifino. Look at that. 2025 Clippers second and 2025 Mavericks second. This trade happened last night at I want to think 1 or 2 in the morning. Late last night, saw it on TikTok. that said Luca and LeBron are teammates. Thought it was fake. House of Highlights posted it, and then I saw the big verification badge and said, "Holy crap!" Massive trade just happened. As for the Lakers, you get a generational guy and a guy that's going to be around for at least a little bit. I think in 2026 he's a free agent, so
He'll
he's
probably
max
be extended after this
probably
year.
be extended. His contract that he signed with the Mavericks no longer counts. I mean, this is a huge deal for the Lakers. It makes a lot of sense. Realistically, you get a good young player to pair up with kind of a young core that you're building there in Dalton Connect and some other guys. As for the Mavericks, it's a head scratching move, I would say. Barrett, your kind of thoughts on what's happened here?
I'll go. I'll let Grant tackle the Lakers perspective first. I'll go from the Mavericks side.
Yeah.
Obviously, this has been stuff that's been brewing, kind of throughout since the end of the finals last year. Obviously, Luka had a great postseason run. Him and Kyrie led the Mavericks to the NBA Finals. I mean, great run. But then Luka over the offseason kind of did address some of the needs that the Mavericks felt he should address, mainly coming in with the conditioning aspect of it. They kind of felt he a little overweight. I've heard reports say that he's about 270 pounds right now. He said he's battled some injuries, mainly I think because of his weight. So they were really disappointed that he did not slim down. They're frustrated with him, his diet, his conditioning, and they did not want to pay him that super max deal that he was eligible for this offseason. So they ship him off to LA and they get Anthony Davis in return, who they feel can really bolster their front court. Already a pretty good front court now. It's the best in the NBA. They're really key on his defense, and they think Kyrie can help lead them back to the finals this year.
Just go ahead and talk about your Lakers here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to point out here is that they have set in place for what's going to happen after LeBron, and that is Luka Doncic. I've seen that the biggest thing for the Lakers and why they made the deal, I think, is Luka was eligible for, I think, a 315, $345 million extension with the trade. He's with the extension he could sign off season, it's closer to about 250, maybe a little less than that. So you're getting a top three player when healthy for cheaper, and he's young. He's one of, I believe, five players in the NBA right now to have five NBA first teams. Everybody else is over the age of 30, and he's 25. So I think that says a lot about his talent and his offensive game. The biggest thing for the Lakers now is you need to trade for a big that you have no big depth. You're starting Jackson Hayes, who's really just an athletic freak, and he's not a very good post overall. So, and I think that they need to trade for someone in the backcourt, like a defensive guy. I've thought of somebody like Jose Alvarado with the Pelicans who struggled. Maybe they need to enter a rebuild mode, somebody like him. So overall, I think that these next 3 or 4 days decides the Lakers season. If they trade for someone, they're gonna try to win it all this year and let LeBron have that fifth ring. Or if not, they're gonna get ready for the next decade under Luka.
It is quite interesting to see kind of what the Mavericks have done. Traded Brunson, traded Porzingis, traded Luca. You get Anthony Davis back, which valuable player, yes. He's going to help the team. It's mind-boggling to me though why you would trade Luca unless you just really don't want to pay him, which also to me is very confusing. He's I think, like Grant said, he's one of the only couple players to make all first team NBA. He's like one of 20 something all time. And the rest of them are all Hall of Famers, something like that. I think I saw that stat. Don't quote me on that, but it's around there. Why you get rid of him for Anthony Davis when I feel like you definitely could have gotten more out of the Lakers? Definitely some younger pieces. Max Christie, a valuable guy. But not a guy that you're going to say, holy cow, I can't believe we got Max Christie out of the Luka Doncic deal. Okay, like that's not, people aren't going crazy for that deal for what they got out of him. Anthony Davis, though, 31, I believe, 31.
Yes.
Kyrie Irving, 30.
Somewhere around that ballpark.
Somewhere around that ballpark. You're not playing young here, all right? Interested to see what the Mavericks do. I still think that they're going to be a good team. I mean, they got talent. They have guys that have played and experienced, but you lose the 25-year-old that's as of right now going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's kind of, I would compare Luka to kind of like a Juan Soto. He's a generational talent. You already know he's going to be really good for a long time, barring freak injuries, which I hope doesn't happen. But that's the NBA that we're living in. It seems like the Mavericks didn't tell anyone either. Jason Kidd didn't know till it actually was announced and happened. It kind of seems like the Mavericks were blindsided about this, and along with Luka, I don't think Luka was expecting to get traded. But yeah, any other thoughts, boys?
I just think that if you were going to make Luka available, I think that if you would have just said to all 31 other teams in the NBA, I think you just could have gotten so much more out of
Yeah,
it. I think they were scared of his. They're obviously so scared of his defense aspect. They want to win a finals now, and even though I think that gives them a shot now, I think they get slightly worse with this
yes,
because I mean, their GM literally the first thing he says defense wins championships, but at the same time, these teams that have won the NBA championship, the Boston Celtics prolific offense, the or the Nuggets prolific offense. So yeah, defense plays a big role in it, but I don't think it's as big as what the Mavericks are making it out to be.
yeah. I don't know why the Lakers were kind of the partner in this. I feel like you said, if you would have said, "Hey, Luke is available," you would have had a lot better options, and a lot of if you want to get good now, if you want to, I mean, it's not like the Mavericks were bad either with Luca, but if you want to really start competing for a championship, I mean, that's what you got. But let's talk about another guy we talked about him a last episode. I think Jimmy Butler. He's suspended indefinitely. He's in talks about getting traded to the Warriors. It looks like those trade talks have halted though, uh, because he's not willing to sign a contract extension. Barrett, your kind of thoughts on this?
This is pretty interesting. I personally would have thought Jimmy Butler would have liked the idea of teaming up with Steph and Draymond, going after that fifth ring. Kind of surprised he doesn't want to sign a contract extension. I understand they're old, but so is Jimmy. So I think it would have been a good fit. He would have brought a lot of defense to the team, which kind of the Warriors need. I know similar to the Mavericks issue, but the Warriors do need some defense on the team. Yeah, just really interesting to see where he'll go now. I mean, I truly thought we were going to be the team that he wanted, that both sides wanted. I think it would be the best fit. So we'll see where he ends up now. Obviously, we know it's going to be a contending-ish team, and we'll see what he can do. See if he can get him to the playoffs. I think he can.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that the Heat weren't trying to get Luca involved either. I mean, you got pieces there that the Mavericks are going to want, but it also seems like the Heat are saving a lot of money. That's what reports are saying as well. They're saving money for 2026 to possibly go after some guys like Luca, and I'm pretty sure the 2026 class is pretty loaded, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. I'm sure we'll talk about another big trade because there's bound to be one. Jimmy's going to be traded. If not, I would be utterly shocked. And I'm sure there's bound to be some more surprises like the Luka Doncic trade. But yeah, we will see you. Anything else?
I don't think so, no.
No.
Pro Bowl happened today. Max Scherzer to the Blue Jays. Whoop-de-doo. That's a big shocking deal there. It's going to help the Blue Jays finish fourth yet again. But there you go. That's the NBA. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more NBA stuff, like I said, in the coming days, just because you get the All-Star break, you get the trade deadline, you got you still got some names out there when you get moved. Mainly that guy in Miami, but a couple other ones that might be surprising. But that's it. Jesus loves you. Peace out. We'll see you. This episode's probably going up on Monday, maybe tonight. So we'll see you Wednesday. Peace out.